I call Dennis O'Rourke.
Thank you. New Zealand First continues to support this bill. It's a very simple bill and it's a very common sense measure, and I think that the committee's done a great job in bringing it back to the House in the way that it now is. I would have to say just in passing that I think in terms of the Principal Act that there are many things wrong with that, and that this government hasn't done very well indeed in terms of the provisions of that Act. And you can see it in a number of areas today. One of them is the fact that many country pubs and other organisations that wish to sell liquor, such as at race meetings and that kind of thing, are finding it very difficult to do so and to making a living these days. And that's because the Principal Act is pretty bad in the way that it deals with those issues. And I feel very strongly, as do we all in New Zealand First, that those things do have to change. In addition to that, there are other parts of the country in which liquor outlets are actually being placed in areas which are very sensitive, where they shouldn't be, and by the way, far too many of them. And that's another issue that needs to be addressed in the Principal Act. But those are not debates for today. That's something that I will certainly be having some comment on at a later time. But for the purposes of this particular simple measure, New Zealand First is, as I've said, in support. There were two main issues as far as I could see, and the first is simply this, that we shouldn't underestimate the intelligence of purchasers who know what they want, aren't likely to be influenced in their purchase by where the product that they seek is displayed in a supermarket. And so it is appropriate that they should be able to find those products easily. It's simply a matter of freedom of choice and ensuring that they can find the products thereafter with the utmost of convenience. And that's why New Zealand First does support the provision in this bill which allows non-alcoholic and low-alcoholic products to be displayed in the single area along with the alcoholic products. It's simply common sense. If you go into a supermarket, that's where I think most people would want to find those products, and now they will be able to do so. And the second issue is simply this, that there does need to be flexibility, and I'm glad to see that that's been preserved in the bill, because supermarket operators do know their customers, do know how to set out their supermarkets so that they provide the convenience for those customers in choosing their products, as I've said they will do. So it's very appropriate that we leave it to the supermarket operators to decide whether to display these products in the single area or elsewhere or both. And I think that's very appropriate. So as far as New Zealand First is concerned, this is a very common sense bill. It allows that flexibility. It preserves the freedom of people to buy the products they want and to find it conveniently in the place they would expect it to be. So we will be voting again in favour of the bill. But as I've said, Mr Chairman, there are a number of other things in the Principal Act, much more important than this provision, that need attention, and New Zealand First will be raising those again at the appropriate time.